world. By now, I hope we all heard of the Black Wall Street in Oklahoma and how it was literally bombed and its people became refugees. Thing is, there were Black Wall Streets all over the Americas. There were plenty self-sustainable, wealthy, indigenous American neighborhoods that were destroyed and its people were evicted and turned into refugees. These neighborhoods would have been super wealthy today, and their descendants would have inherited generational wealth if they weren't destroyed by the U.S. government. Cities like Cowaliga, Alabama, home of the indigenous Muskogee people that built one of the most industrious cities in the United States right on their tribal land. Well, the state of Alabama said fuck that and flooded the city under Lake Martin, 10 times worse than Tulsa, Oklahoma if you ask me. This place was home to America's first black railroad, dominant schools, and upper-class housing, all destroyed by the state of Alabama. That's an example of systematic oppression, isn't it? Or like this place, Oscarville, Georgia, once home to a thriving Creek Indian community. The Creek Indians of Oscarville were expelled by white mobs after 2 residents of Oscarville were accused of committing crimes against a white female. After expelling all of the Creek Indians, Oscarville was soon flooded under Lake Lanier. Now let me ask y'all a quick question. What do you think happened to all of those refugees, those residents that were expelled? Let me answer that for the ones that don't have a brain. They ended up in the slums. They ended up in housing projects. Or like one of the worst cases, East St. Louis, Illinois, where over 6,000 indigenous Americans were dispelled and became refugees overnight by a white mob. This picture shows an indigenous woman begging the president for help. This picture is very powerful to me because it shows us begging the same people for help that destroyed our community. What an oxymoron. Those riots in East St. Louis, Illinois caused 6,000 people to be homeless and caused over $9 million in damage. And the question for y'all is, what do you think happened to the 6,000 refugees? They ended up in the slums of the inner cities of Chicago. They're the ones that's facing all of this turmoil today. The systematic destruction of the indigenous cities and communities happened all across the Americas, and the indigenous were forced into the ghettos.